slower. Let's have a look at the slow motion replay of the incident that took place, and you can make your own movement. There you are. Oh, there we are. So, you see James Murdoch in the middle there getting up, and that gives you an idea of what happened. And Michael, what did you make of Rupert Murdoch and James? The body language. Some people here, and I'll say it quite openly, some people here suggested during the testimony that James Murdoch seemed out of his depth, Rupert Murdoch seemed to be out of touch. Are we missing the point here?
I don't think we are missing the point here. I mean, for 50 years, ever since Rupert Murdoch became a big figure in British journalism, he has been the dominant figure, under the influence of his father, Sir Keith Murdoch. I was in the Panorama hospitality room 30 years ago when James Murdoch came to go on Panorama to show that he was a fit and proper person. He was the owner of the News of the World and the owner of the Sun, and he wanted to take over the Times, and he came with his young son, aged 11. It was either Blackburn or James. I'm afraid I can't remember, but he was getting the early taste of the dynasty, and I think the dynasty is crumbling before our eyes.
Let's talk to, stay with us, Michael, there's plenty more to talk to you about. Let's talk to Jonathan Wallace, CNN's producer, who's in the room, joins me on the line. Okay, let's have some facts, Jonathan. What actually happened?
Well, Richard, Louise Mensch was the last member of the committee to begin her questioning. I was sitting in the front row, directly behind and slightly to the left of Rupert Murdoch, when suddenly, flung from his back, a member of the public wearing canvas trousers and a checked shirt walked to the front with a bag, pulled out a polystyrene plate with what seems to be shaving foam, planted it into the face of Rupert Murdoch. Wendy Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch's wife, jumped up immediately to his defence to try and beat back, but had just thrown this plate with foam on it into Rupert Murdoch's face. The man, as soon as he had thrown the plate with foam on it, said, "You are a greedy billionaire." The foam fell around. It appears to be shaving foam. Some of it fell on me.
So let's be clear. Did this shaving foam hit Rupert Murdoch in the face?
Squarely in the face, yes. Everyone was a bit surprised. Nobody reacted in time, and the person who marched forward, he was a man who appeared to be in his late 20s, perhaps his 30s, threw the plate with a large amount of light blue shaving foam on it and hit him squarely in the face.
And Rupert Murdoch's wife, you say, was there, and the woman in the pink was there, and we can see in these pictures that we're showing now, Mrs. Murdoch leaping from her seat, and did any of the Murdochs or anybody else, before the police got there, apprehend or get a hand on the assailant?
Not really. He was given a pretty clear line in which to throw the plate and the foam on it into his face. There was one policeman who tried to wrestle him away as soon as he had thrown it. He got a fair share of shaving foam on himself, but by then it was too little too late. Murdoch was stunned, not injured. Wendy Murdoch, shortly afterwards, was seemed to be in fairly good spirits. She was smiling about how quickly she was able to react to this incident. Other members of Rupert Murdoch's support team, I'm not sure if it was a legal advisor, but was sort of in the front row, approached another policeman in astonishment, asking, "How on earth can you let this happen?"
Okay, fine. The question this all begs the question, why now? This thing's been going for 2.5 hours. Frankly, there have been moments when one was, that could almost have fallen asleep listening to the backward and forwardness and the answers. So, why? Any indication why, at this point in the proceedings, this chap decided to interrupt and cause the disturbance?
It's not clear. There was a minor disturbance at the very, very beginning of the select hearing, when 3 protesters stood up with signs saying, that Murdoch was a news criminal. They were asked to leave. So perhaps they could have waited. So there was no clear indication as to why this person who threw this plate of bones...
I'm interrupting you there, Jonathan, so that I can just describe. The CNN pictures we are showing now, just sorry to interrupt you, but these are CNN pictures of the man who has been arrested and the foam being wiped off his face. This is all taking place in a place called Portcullis House, which is just, I don't know, 100 yards or so, 150 yards from where I'm standing at Abingdon Green. As you say, a man in a checked shirt. I suppose the questions will be asked how he got what he got into the room, won't it, Jonathan?
Well, the security here it's designed to ensure that serious weapons and other more threatening objects don't make their way through. It's quite possible that he could have just brought this in and it seemed as innocuous as it was on the face of it, shaving foam. However, he obviously used it and had it prepared in this blue plastic bag that he was carrying for purposes that, well, one wouldn't typically expect from shaving foam.
Alright, we shall pause there, Jonathan, because as we are talking, I see that the picture has now returned, and unless I'm mistaken, the hearing is resuming. Let's rejoin the chairman, John Whittingdown.